thing we all had in common was that we all played an instrument for years, and we all used to do sports before, or like still do it. Those are two things that we all had in common. Yeah.
All right, that's good. Team 2?
Okay, so firstly, we're all obsessed with our space, our own rooms. Secondly, we spend minimum of 2 hours or max for some people on social media. And thirdly, okay, now I forgot what that is.
Thirdly, we all like old music.
Yeah, we like
Old
old music.
songs, Maggie, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so old songs, very good. Team 3? Where's team 3? Do we have a team 3?
Who are the team T? Put up your hand.
No, there was no team 3.
No, I
there was no team three.
There's
think
no
that
team 3. Okay, we just did the rounds, all right, okay. What about Rehan and all? Which batch were you? Which team were you? Siddharth?
Yeah, that was a team 3.
All right, okay.
We didn't have a lot of common interest, but a few of us play a musical instrument. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm going to deep dive right away into what we have in store for you today. Question to all of you is, what is the difference between invention and innovation? What is invention and what is innovation? Throughout the world today, we're talking about innovation, creativity, right? Everyone is talking about startups. This whole ecosystem, not only in India, but globally, US, developing countries want more startups. So the whole world is buzzing with the terminologies of entrepreneurship, innovation, creativity, design, leadership, right? So when you're talking about invention and innovation, what do you think could be the difference? Anybody?
Invention is when you try to make something new, and innovation is when you try to make something better that already exists and is made by someone else.
Okay, all right. That's a good one. Anyone else wants to?
Yeah, so I can build on that. Invention is like the development of a new or novel idea or technology, and then innovation is the process of transforming that invention into something that you can market and profit out of. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Right? So let me ask you another quiz question. Who are these? Guess who?
People who invented important stuff in the past.
Any guesses on who's the one to your left, in the middle, to your right?
The one on the left is Benjamin Franklin.
Yes. So what was he famous for?
Something about electricity.
Absolutely. And all about electricity. That's a trigger. Who's the next one?
Faraday, right?
Yes, Faraday. And third, oh, all of you get brownie points. Okay, third?
That's all. That's Edison.
That's
Yes. So do you know that invention? So you look at Benjamin Franklin and, you look at the wild thing that he did, took a wire, the lightning was striking, kite was there, connected the wire and boom, understood about, electricity. You have Michael Faraday, you talk about generators and all of that. You have the bulb when it comes to Edison, right? But when you look at all of these are inventions, something that they have researched in the lab, right? Now, why am I asking you about invention and innovation? There is a difference. If you were to use electricity today, we're sitting here, we're using the best of technology. We can see each other, and there's light all around us. But are we stepping out and waiting for the lightning to strike and then holding a wire to a kite or whatever to just ensure that we get electricity?
No.
So how are we using it? It's given to us in a form, right? Which we can use. That right? So when you're looking at ideas, when you're looking at something that you want to take to the market, or you look at business around you, it's not about just getting that idea out. It's about trying to understand, how can I make a difference to somebody else and ensure it is given in a consumable form, which means, as someone who is consuming it, I need to feel really good about it. I want to feel valued, right? So value innovation is something that you must think of, which is when you're trying to solve, right, a problem. And most of you in this group have ideas. Some of you are already working on social, initiatives. So when you're looking at it, how are you looking at it? Is it just because you want to do something? Is it because you're passionate about it? Is it because you have an idea? You want to, make the world a better place to live in? Where does it all start? Where does it start?
With an idea.
With an idea. And why does that idea happen? Why does that idea come up to you? What is irking you? What is,
To fix an issue, a problem.
Yes, it all starts with a
Injustice.
problem, right? So when you're looking at this, right, and you're trying to create value, please understand it's all about invention plus commercialization. You don't start businesses which will not give you back what you're trying to put in, right? If we had someone just shelling out money and trying to create something and create value and give it to the whole world without expecting something in return, because you're creating value, there is also a win-win situation. And please understand, this is, common to every single business, be it social entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship, right? Innovation and entrepreneurship are drivers of economy. Today, we're all, talking about entrepreneurship worldwide because we want to create more value. We want to ensure, all the problems that we are seeing, the disparity, the problems, the great divide. We have poverty. We're talking about climate. We're talking about environment. We're talking about food. We're talking about so many different things, problems galore, right? But at the same time, we are saying that, hey, if I want to do something, how do I ensure I get the revenue? How do I ensure I'm also able to make the best of it? While I'm giving, in the best of interest, I want to ensure that I'm also benefited because I'm creating jobs. I'm adding on to the growth of the economy. India, after so many years of independence, US, if you see, right? I want you to take a look at all the global statistics. And if you have your cell phones, you should actually look up which is the top country, right? Driving innovation and entrepreneurship. Which country do you think it is?
India.
Anyone?
India.
Knows? Uh-huh. Let me take you to this. Worldwide, right? Recent statistics talks about over 150 million startups. US leads, China follows with UK. India is catching up there. We're talking about unicorns, someone who's making more than, $1 million, turnover. Every now and then we're talking, but the best part of it is a lot of it is not birthed in our own countries. A lot of it outside, and we take it into the stats, and yet we talk about startups and we're talking about the ecosystem and all of that, right? But when you're talking about entrepreneurship, please understand, it's a holistic process. It's talking about resourcefulness, it's talking about strategy, it talks about market conditions, and suddenly, we think we can be part of it because we have an idea. We can be part of it because we are passionate about something that we want to achieve and take forward, right? Now, I want some of you to talk very quickly about some ideas that you might have, be it social or otherwise, whatever it is. Quickly, one or two. Anyone wants to talk about their idea?
Hi, it's Pranav speaking.
Yes, Pranav.
I'm currently working on an initiative that deals with food insecurity within impoverished regions and just general like food safety issues. And so what the objective of the initiative is that there's a team of students, high school students, who are making meals, recipes, and they're delivering these recipes to anyone who orders for cheap prices so that it gets nutrient-rich food while being like financially healthy or conscious. So yeah.
Why did you want to start this? What triggered you?
Honestly, it was just my like my desire to cook. I love cooking, so I wanted to create an initiative where I can use my passion for good. And so I realized that in most big cities like Dallas itself, where I'm from in Texas, there's a lot of people who can't afford healthy food. And so I wanted to garner my audience towards people who want to live a much more healthier lifestyle, but can't because of their financial issues. So yeah.
Excellent. So I think what triggered you was your passion for cooking. So let's set that aside, right? Passion. Anyone else?
So it's Rihan here. So my idea was essentially to teach theater to students with metacognitive disabilities.
Wonderful.
And this organization will focus on various aspects of theater, like blocking, scripting, directing, and acting, and designing as well. So light design and set design, which exposes the students to technology as well as actual practical theater. And I intend on just developing their skills using a wide array of techniques to improve their cognitive abilities. And essentially, I'll just measure this through the entire course. So yeah, got it.
Why did you come up with this idea, Rehan?
So I think it stemmed from my passion for theater, which I've been doing for the last couple of years. And the metacognitive abilities part of it, I think that it's majorly, I really want to focus on that because of the fact that I've observed that they don't get that sort of exposure, one. Two, usually I don't see not just metacognitive disabilities, but also usually in government schools, art in this sense hasn't been explored as much. It's usually something like coding or, various things like that, as opposed to theater. So I wanted to introduce theater in a form so that they get exposure, they get opportunities to, express.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Anyone else? One more? Silence.
I would like to go for this.
Yes, Sahasra.
Yeah, so it's an idea I've already worked on, and I'm still working on, of course. So it's a website that is built for teenage girls who has, lack of access to information on how to react to each situation that happens in their life, like when they hit puberty. They're not guided properly sometimes, and they don't know where to find reliable information, and also they don't know whom to rely on. So we also have communities and clubs where they can interact with each other, and then just grow their horizons and get to know each other and
wonderful,
get a diverse exposure.
What triggered you, Sahasra?
I'm a teenage girl myself. I can understand. So there are a few things I want to get information from, and some things I want some guide to help me out.
Wonderful.
And you won't get it from people around you at times. So at that point of time, when I've been searching for these informations, I just don't know where to trust and where not to. So according to my experiences or according to my research, whatever I find useful, maybe I just want to give it to someone who is not in a position where they can understand what they have to do.
Wonderful thought. All right. So all of you are talking a lot around the social initiative, right? So when it comes to social entrepreneurship, please remove the myth that you cannot make money. Social entrepreneurship, can include both, and I'm going to take you through a case study today, right? Can include nonprofit organizations, charities, but also profit, right? Even if you are an NGO, you got to raise funds. You need to receive donations, right? And if you have to have a sustained and scaled up business at any point of time, you have to ensure that you stay on track and you're constantly networking, constantly creating your brand, constantly creating that visibility so that people know who you are and what you're trying to do. And when it comes to social enterprise, there is the triple bottom line, the TBL. And please remember this, it's all about people, planet, and profit, which means what is the human impact of your business? Government schools, theater, metacognitive, you're talking about health, you're talking about teens, right? And a lot of others will have ideas, right? And then how your environment is impacted. That's the social side. But also when you're looking at a for-profit initiative, there is still the same, right? Where are you generating revenue? How are you plowing that back into business, right? Don't look at it from a typical traditional angle when it comes to social initiatives. If you are giving in a lot of time, a lot of effort, you have to understand how the world and the ecosystem of startups supports you in that, right? We were talking about so many startups, and you're looking at the ranking of these countries, yet 90% fail. But why? Why do you think startups fail? More than 20%, 30% fail first year or when they start up, right? Over 40% fail maybe 1.5 years or within 5 years of when they start up. Why do you think this happens?
Possibly because of the lack of scalability and profitability of the idea itself.
Okay. Anyone else? Good. Keep that in mind.
Someone has innovated their business or their startup.
Yeah, all right. Good point. Think.
Varna, Junita.
Right?
Anybody?
This is something which is surprising, be it the US, be it China, whatever, whoever. We know that at least, even if not 90% specifically in these specific countries, individually, even over 85% fail. And that's because of there is no market for it. It's a poor product market fit. You have wrong marketing strategies. If you look at the statistics out here, you see how startups are so enamored and married to their own ideas, wanting to push it into the market without understanding the strategy or without even understanding whether the requirement or the demand is there or not. Right? So I'm just kind of very quickly trying to look at, if you were to talk, Sahasra, about the teen thing, you see worldwide, you have to understand what is happening overall. You are part of a small community where you're facing, this issue. So you're trying to be passionate about what you're trying to do. So is Pranav, because he loves cooking. So is Rehan, right? I'm just taking these examples because you spoke about it. Theater, passionate, you step into that role, and then, you want to take that on and you want to deliver that to a specific community. But what is happening worldwide in that specific space is something that no one understands. So you end up create something that you're really, really passionate about. Today's session is to help you understand, hey, look at the problem in totality. Don't fall in love with your solution or your idea. Fall in love with your problem first. Try to understand and get to the root cause of what is causing the problem. right? So there is no market research to validate how you can scale up or grow your venture, be it social or otherwise. Lack of understanding of what customers require, and every time they think, and we've had, be it IIMs, IITs, wherever, right? When we talk to startups, they say, who is your customer? Oh, we've spoken to so many students, they will come in. But when they actually start their enterprise, they're in for a shock. All those who said, yeah, we'll support you and, buy from you, whatever, it doesn't happen that way. So understanding reality and understanding whether you really have a market for what you're trying to, sell or grow is very, very important. And trying to be with the right people, it's not about trying to ask friends, family, those relatives around you and feeling great because anyway, they're going to support you, right? So please understand that developing a macro view is very, very important. Understanding industry trends, looking at the picture globally, having the big picture and the vision always in mind, understanding that industry, what big problem are you trying to solve? Set the context, understand the pain points. How severe are the pain points? How severe a problem are you trying to solve? Which is why you need market research. This is a beautiful tool. I'm going to tell you a story. A lot of you are from Texas, and this story is a real story about Blake Mycoskie. How many of you have heard of him? If you're from Texas, you should have. Right? So this is about him who started, his venture. He's dabbled in a lot of things even from the age of 19. But in 2006, when he traveled to Argentina, right? What happened was he was learning some things by himself, but he observed and watched a lot of volunteers fitting shoes onto children, and they were used shoes. And he was wondering, this charity is going on, but what is happening out here? Right? So when he went to them and he asked them, and he found out that a lot of children in Argentina are walking without shoes. And he was shocked. And you could see the amount of pain that they were facing, one, because of the infection, the fungal problems, severe health conditions, small to teens, whatever, no shoes. Right? All of you, I want you to very quickly on yourself, typically help me understand what is the population of Argentina. Who can quickly gather that information right now? What's the population of Argentina?
20 million?
No?
45 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And who was that? All right, Arnav, that was quick. What is the child population of Argentina? Because if you're doing anything, please understand, you have to understand the totality. There has to be measurable metrics of what you're trying to solve. All right? It is very easy to have an idea and take it forward and then go forward and just slam down and then figure out, oh my God, why is it not moving ahead? Have I not done something? Right. Right? So the whole idea about trying to fall in love with the problem is for you to flesh out and understand what is the impact, the kind of solution that you're trying to provide. And you have to set a context to it. So when Blake Mycoskie went in, he came back with a fabulous idea. He said, I want to start a venture and I'm going to sell shoes. And he brought in that one-on-one model where he says, for every shoe that I sell, I am going to donate one free pair of shoes to a child in Argentina who doesn't have shoes. Which means I'm talking about it being social. But at the same time, he's making money by having a proper venture, but he also has a stream which is social. It's a hybrid mode. So the root cause of the problem is poverty. You look at the problem in Argentina. Right now, alternatives, what do they have to depend upon? They have to wait for donations. They have to wait for charitable institutions to come donate used shoes. And how long will the used shoes last? And the used shoes are also not clean. So what are the shortcomings of the alternatives? What are the disadvantages? They might still get sick. They might still wear off quickly. They might still end up not having shoes. And when does the problem occur? Daily. Everyone faces it daily. And who has the problem? Mainly children. You know, adults are used to it. I mean, they manage, but when you look at the vast majority, and then there are emotions. Please understand, entrepreneurship, if you are working on a product or service, you are trying to create value for somebody, and that value that you create is for someone who has emotions, who's able to accept your product or service because he or she is wanting to, you know, ensure that they feel good, that feel good factor, because they're finding a pain point, they're feeling emotions. Here, the children, what kind of emotions do you think they'll feel without shoes day in and day out? What do you think the emotions are all about? How will you feel if you didn't have shoes at all the rest of your life?
Pain.
Pain, yes. Then? What else? Come on. We get so used to even wearing.
Discomfort.
Yeah,
Irony.
that comfort, right?
Want to hear you guys.
What else will you feel?
Neha.
The stress, the strain, the trauma, especially when you look at others wearing lovely shoes, right? So please understand, in any entrepreneurial journey, be it social or otherwise, it's all about, you know, working towards satisfying the emotions of who your customers are. There is, you know, not just a problem, but there's a lot of emotions attached to it. So understanding the emotions, trying to help them overcome the pain points is something that every entrepreneur is working towards. All right. So if you look at Tom's shoes today, I want you to look at how the problem is laid out. You look at this beautiful canvas, which is talking and fleshing out the problem. And each of you, for the kind of idea that you have or the problem that you're trying to solve, set aside the idea for a while and look at the problem in totality. Look at the big picture of the problem. Look at it from a global perspective. Look at it from the community that you live in. Look at it from the city that you are in. Look at it from the residential area that you are in. And look at it, you know, in all those levels, you will see how many lives you can affect. All right, so here you're looking at poverty. You're looking at the emotional impact, lack of self-esteem, sadness, frustration, mental health issues, right? Because they fall sick. Some of them even die because of the infection, right? So when you look at building this canvas, how do you derive and define your problem statement? All of you are working on the solution and talking about what you're doing, but how do you actually define? So in many developing countries, millions of children grow up without adequate footwear, which results in significant health risks. You've taken it from where the problem is, from the statement. Children are susceptible to injuries, infections, and soil-transmitted diseases without proper shoes. Where are you deriving it from? Who is affected by the problem? Health issues, you know, what is the problem, right? So what do you want to do? Now you come to what you're trying to do. We want to address the urgent need for proper footwear among children in developing countries. It's not just about Argentina. Tom Shoes has helped, you know, be it the US, be it India, be it any other place. He's gone to many countries right now, right? People mocked him. People told him it isn't going to work. Economies thumbed him down because they said, you are entering our space because we're not able to manufacture shoes and grow the economy. So why are you trying to do it? So a lot of politics behind and issues behind what he started. Yet today, you can look up Tom's shoes. They just didn't do the shoes bit, but they went beyond and started, eyewear, and then they started bags. They're doing a lot of things. Where they are today, founded in 2006 from Arlington, Texas. So all you Texas kids feel proud of this. He authored, and if you want to read the book, read it, start something that matters. And that's where your passion comes in. So don't get caught with your passion. Practically start looking at problems from a big picture. Today's session is all about tuning your focus towards what is the problem, the real problem, a real world problem that you're trying to solve, not just on the periphery. Because this is something, if you get started on, you can take it beyond, campus, if you're doing it in campus, or if you want to take it beyond and expand to other regions someday, you can still do it, right? It combines both profit and non-for-profit. Pioneer the one-for-one model, right? Supporting health, education, community development programs, impacted over 105 million people today. He didn't have, the best thing he did was no money. Use social media to the fullest. So when you are present on social media and creating the visibility, then celebrities who want to participate in, these charitable things automatically come forward. He didn't take it to the celebrities like these Hollywood actors. They came to him. They sold it for him, right? And in 2021, post the pandemic, he converted the model because he was expanding to 1/3 of whatever profits comes to Tom Shoes for grassroots goods, right? So what does he do? You look at what he does on the TBL platform. Culture is rooted in diversity, equity and inclusion, anti-racism. Planet, when he looks at it, sustainability. So the materials that he uses for the shoes and everything that he does is very eco-friendly. Purpose focused on creating significant impact in 3 areas: mental health, access to opportunity, and ending gun violence. So when you're looking at ideas, when you're looking at taking your passion and your interest area forward, don't get stuck on to, this is what I can do. Step back and start looking at practicality and reality of what is happening around you. So there is a lot of impact. There is something that you have to measure, right? And I don't know if we have the speaker now. Has Simran joined?
No, Sujaya should take another few minutes.
Oh, so I want to actually share and show a video to all of you, and you can tell me if you can hear this. Thoughts at the moment? Everyone is very quiet. What are you thinking about? We came in to take our idea forward, and look at what she's saying. Right? What are your thoughts at the moment, all of you? Shoot, talk.
I'm currently just thinking whether my idea, my initiative fits the criteria of what would be successful, like what you said, talking about are just analyzing the problem that you're trying to solve as a whole and seeing how much your initiative can impact and create a solution on that problem. So that's what I'm thinking about.
When I'm listening to all of you, I can actually help you, through these different tools that we have to, will ask you to work on. You can actually look at taking it forward. Your ideas are good. It needs to be fleshed out more and in a very, very systematic manner. right? So we're going to share this tool with you, but at the moment, any other thoughts? I want more voices.
I was thinking of
Yes.
the market,
Yeah.
my intended market for my initiative and what I want to do, and like how I need to take my initiative and change it to where it fits the market.
Wonderful.
I can actually be successful.
You're going to learn a lot more over the next 4-5 sessions, right? This is just a drop in the ocean. It's just to shift your focus and your thinking to the macro level of what you're trying to solve. All right? Any other thoughts?
I'm just thinking, is my initiative still something that I want to do? Maybe I should take a step back and start thinking about more options that I have.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Let me tell you. I'm going to share the video. Hang on. Can all of you see the screen? And let you can hear this.
Where we're going is clearly not being a shoe company, but truly the one-for-one company. I started my first company when I was 19 years old, dropped out of college, just trying to kind of figure out, really just how to pay the bills. And so I kind of stumbled into entrepreneurship. I was at the time running an online driver's education company here in Los Angeles, and I took a month off, and every year I try to take the month of January off to go and recharge and reconnect. And this particular trip I went down to Argentina, took some tango lessons, I learned to play polo, and on that trip I actually met a few women that were doing volunteer work. And what they specifically were doing was something they called a shoe drive. And what that meant was they were going around collecting slightly used shoes, and then they were going to distribute these shoes, from the wealthy people they collected them from to these children who didn't have them and specifically needed shoes to go to school. And I was just blown away by these women and this nonprofit that was working down there, and I wanted to help. That afternoon, I told my buddy, actually my polo teacher, Alejo, that I had this idea how we could help these kids get shoes, help them continue to get shoes in a sustainable way, and at the same time start a business. And we just started making shoes, literally with our own hands, in a little factory that's smaller than a 2-car garage here in the States. And that's really kind of how I got started. When I first had the idea for Tom's, the idea was if we sell a pair of shoes today, we'll give away a pair tomorrow. And we were going to call them Tomorrow's Shoes. So I shortened Tomorrow's to Tom's, and that's how we got to the name. So when we started talking to shoe companies and the media that we were going to give a pair away for every pair we sold, one for one, people didn't believe us. And then everyone that did believe us said, you're going to be out of business in a year because there's no way you can sustain that. So we were the first ones to really create this one-for-one model. And one of the things I'm most proud of is many companies now are following too. And that one-for-one model has evolved, way beyond shoes now to helping people with eyesight. And we're developing many other one-for-one products as we speak. When we started, our goal was to help 250 kids in one village just outside of Argentina. And that first summer, we sold 10,000 pairs, and we thought, wow, 10,000 pairs is something bigger than I could ever imagine. And then several years later, we hit 1 million pairs. And so now to have given 10 million pairs of shoes and over 150,000 people their eyesight back through our sunglass program are just numbers that are just hard to believe for me. We have factories in Asia, we have factories in Africa, and we have factories in South America. And so it's really important that as we expand, we have shoes for everyone, because we really need everyone to keep the movement going.
Thoughts? Interesting model? Yeah? All of you are, looking so silent and thoughtful, right? What are your thoughts right now? Do you think you can take your idea forward with more clarity? Yeah, get more clarity? Yes or no?
Yes.
Anyone else was to share? We have a wonderful guest speaker coming in soon who will share her journey. And we'll wait for her to join. Simran?
She's here already, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, right, for being here.
How are you doing? Thank
Yeah,
you for inviting me in here.
absolutely, Simran. And all of you, I would love for Chaitali to introduce Simran. Simran and I met incidentally at the Madras School of Social Work out here in Chennai. And I didn't know, much of her story, but as soon as this program was, structured, I said, yes, Simran has to be part of it. And she's here today at very short notice. Thank you very much. Over to you, Chaitali. Listen.
Yeah, so quickly. So Simran, she is a co-founder of Green Roots and a business partner at Employee Heat. As a co-founder of Green Roots, a corporate gifting company, she offers experiences in the business development, consultancy, and project management to provide high potential gift solutions. She specializes in providing tailored corporate gifting solutions to businesses of all sizes. Apart from helping businesses grow, she loves volunteering with charitable organizations and organizing events, providing consultancy services to enhance business operations, and crafting experiences that leave a great mark. Yeah. So over to you, Simran.
Thank you so much for the generous introduction. And good evening to everybody present here. I think this is wonderful, ma'am, what you're doing. On a weekend, I think these young minds are here learning about innovation. I think that itself is...
They need a hand clap. I think all of you, thank you so much for being part of this program. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm not going to get into, I think Pranav is just like, okay, why am I here? I'm going to slow clap. Are you sleepy, Pranav?
No.
No, you're not. That's great. Okay, let's start the session. I'll make it very quick, right? So how many of you have watched the movie Dear Zindagi? Who follows Hindi or Shah Rukh Khan? Here, there, Akshata. I can see Akshata. I can see there. Okay, so in the movie, there is an incident, right? So Shah Rukh Khan says, life is like buying furniture. So now when you go to buy chairs, right? What would you do? Akshata, what would you do? You've seen the movie.
What was the question?
When you go to buy a chair for a furniture store, what would you do?
See if the product is like the quality of the product and the cost.
And you will sit on it, experience, roll around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how life is. You sit onto one chair and then you experience it. It does not fit you, right? And then you move on to the next chair, right? So I will relate this to my story. So I did my undergraduation in commerce, BCom. And like everybody else, I was under peer pressure. I was like, I'm going to become a chartered accountant right now. And I cleared my CPT in my 4th attempt. And failure there also. And then I was like, this is not for me. Then I did my UPSC. I gave 3 attempts and I failed there. Like, okay, now what do I do? This is not for me as well. Then all I knew was I want to make a social impact. I want to help people. I want to be the Robin Hood. I'm going to take from the rich, give them to the poor, right? So there I came across the term called social entrepreneurship and something called a social impact, right? What is social impact? It is, I just follow 3 P's, right? Social impact and social entrepreneurship for me is impacting people, planet, while making profits. You need money to survive, right? Or else we could have just had NGOs. So then I joined my master's in social entrepreneurship, and there I met my wonderful business partner and friend, and we started Green Roots. So that's the journey. So the crux of it is that if I can do it, anybody can, right? And I wish all of you the very best in your journey. And I would start with another theory. There's something called as the red card theory. Does anybody know about it? Anybody? Okay. So Mohana, I'm going to start with you, right? How many red cards did you see today?
No, ma'am, I didn't get your question.
How many red cars did you see today? You went on the road today. How many red cars did you see?
I didn't go out today.
Perfect. Perfect weekend. Okay. Anybody else was out on the road? Thiru Malesh. Right. How many red cars did you see today?
Probably like 2.
Are you sure? Okay.
Red cars are very rare where I live, so yeah.
Right. So it might not be 100% factually right, but try this out. Next, I tell you that next time Tirumale should go out on the road, I will give you 5,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees for every red car that you see. Are you going to look more carefully?
Yes.
Right? So that's how opportunities are in life. They keep passing by you every day. Just be aware and keep your eyes open, right? And you will find them. So that is the first step. I think many of you are already on the journey. As I spoke to Sujaya ma'am and Chaitali ma'am, you've already you have your own ideas and you're working on it. You are there already. Be aware of the opportunities around, right? Follow the red card theory in your life. It will take you a long way.